my name is Kayla. I live in Irvine and I am a student. I would say as far as those sorts of things, I personally and within my community have experienced a wide variety of like small things like microaggressions, of just being referred to like just as the black girl, or someone touching my hair without asking me first, to more obvious events, I guess, such as some of my peers have been called out of their name while leaving a local supermarket. I myself have been verbally harassed at a bus stop. So there's a lot of things that happen with us, to us as a community, and also individually as well. I think it's a really important topic because I can see just from my own experience that it's something that people do not want to talk about, and it's something that's very important, not only specifically for those who are directly affected from it, but those who may not be a part of the community that's being called names. It still affects them in a sense too. So I feel like discussing what's happening to Black people in a predominantly white community is really, of any time, it's a really good time to actually start sitting down and having the conversation and being willing to engage in like the different topics that are in it and history and things like that.
What would you tell that little girl watching this film who is just now getting used to her natural hair and who is just now realizing that she is Black? What would you tell her about herself and the opportunities available for her education-wise?
I think I would tell her just some things that I needed to hear was that like I'm okay, that there's nothing wrong with me, which is so crazy to have to convince yourself of, that my hair is okay, my skin is okay, my lips are okay, that I'm smart, that I matter. Things that saying out loud, it's crazy that you have to tell yourself that, but that there are other people like you. Like, I know there's not a lot of us in college, but you're not gonna get there, and you're not gonna be the only one. You know, we're smart. I don't know if I could say it. Fuck you to the people in high school that even made me ever feel that way. Like, that's such a hard thing. Like, honestly, it's still such a hard thing to deal with. I still have to call my mom. Like, I feel like, honestly, I've been traumatized because it's weird to have flashbacks and be worried, and I don't know. So there's a lot of anger, still a lot of fuck you in there, a lot of I wish I could make you hurt as much as you hurt me, but to those who look like me, who are in that, just that you, not even that you need to forgive yourself because you haven't done anything wrong, just to understand that you're okay, like, honestly, that it's okay to be Black, it's okay to be you, it's okay to be non-traditional weird Black, because some people have those weird ideas of what we're supposed to look like all the time. So just that you're okay. Yeah. I don't know that I've ever really, I just recently ended my position as co-chair for an org on my campus, and I don't know that if I've really yet sat down and really thought about what kind of leader I am. I know what I strive to be while I held the position. Well, I know it's easy for me to say that I'm an activist based on the different events that I was a part of on campus, and I really tried to be a community leader. I tried to listen to those around me because I'm no different than anyone who's not in the position, so it's a matter of incorporating all of the voices and making sure that, you know, everyone's voice and perspective is given time and attention. I think I'm also a very devoted leader. I would say that. I know, not to like brag about myself, but I know that I'm very dedicated when I believe in something, and I really believed in what I was doing in my community. So I know that I'm willing to put in the work for my community and my people.
And I want to continue on. When I read your story, I was like, this girl, we have to get her for the film, because she shows so much dedication and passion for social causes that many people are just afraid to voice, and not just young people, but even adults. So it takes a lot of courage, which is what I see that you have, and a lot of just natural born leadership skills that you possess to even be able to stand in front of this camera or sit in front of this camera and talk about who you are, what you represent, and how you feel the community needs to be led. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me, Lord. All alone, this tear's journey. Won't you walk with me?
Give free cuts to certain people who can't afford it, or they come at me, well, I need a haircut, but I don't have the money, or don't worry about it, I'll take care of you. If you have the money after you get a job, maybe give you some self-esteem, and then we'll go from there. You know, you get that first check, come look at me, you know, or something like that. I won't turn a person down for a haircut, but it's something I like to do. So.
Basically, no matter where you're at in the United States, as an African American, you're still going to be under the microscope. People still going to scrutinize you. People still going to profile you because of the media, because all the misinformation they've heard about African Americans. The difference between Orange County and outside of Orange County, the South in particular, is in the South, your racism is against is white and black. Here in Orange County, it's like it seems like it's other enemies, other ethnic groups like the Latino community and the Asian community and other ethnic groups. It seems like they bought into the white supremacy theory of racism, and the reason why they have those biases against us. It's nothing new against African Americans, because the African Americans were taught the race hate game over 400 years ago, and now the other ethnic groups is just now catching up. They being taught the race hatred game in the 20th, 21st century, which we've been taught over 400 years ago. So that's pretty much my experience. Also in Orange County, when it comes to housing, I've seen a lot of biases in housing. When I had roommates and I rented rooms out of people's houses, and that's because I'm African American. They think that I'm a violent person. They think I'm a steal. They think I'm an evil person because I'm African American, despite the fact that I carry myself in a good, charismatic manner, that I say yes ma'am and no sir, or no ma'am and yes sir, no sir. I'm still being watched like I'm gonna do something wrong. Well, I'm a Christian, and as a Christian, we follow certain principles, and the principle that I follow the most, I try to treat everybody kind. I try to treat everybody fair, regardless of their color or ethnic group or orientation, whatever, or gender. Yeah, and that right there, when you treat people fair, that kind of give you a good feeling, at the end of the day. So that's one way I can cope. Another way I cope with it is that going to church on Sunday. Oh man, you don't know what that does to me when I go to church. It's like an outlet. It's like therapy. It's like medicine, for this disease, racism disease. Yes.
My name is Pierre Dotson. Born and raised Southern California. 8 years military, raised off of the hair industry money, and kind of just was raised to work hard in life and stuff. And definitely was growing up in LA was definitely tapped into my culture and stuff. And just barbering is just something I've always had a passion for since I was a young jitterbug. You know what I mean? We talking 4 or 5 years old, 6, and just growing up in the barbershop is just something that's always been instilled in me because I know the power of what a barbershop can do. So that's pretty much the foundation of it.
So how did you become the owner?
Okay, yeah. Owner-wise, I got recruited out of barber school. So went over there and was really doing big things in school. So I had a couple shops coming recruit me, and then from there, I chose this one, because it was my particular ethnicity of shop, and that's where I wanted to be at, back with my African American circle. So I chose this shop and worked really hard. Damn near 18-hour days, 7 days a week, going hard, and I guess I showed something that the previous owner was looking for, and I made him an offer he couldn't refuse. Yeah.
So, have you ever thought about opening up your own shop in Los Angeles?
Not.
Do you live in Orange County?
Yeah, I stay in Orange County. I feel that market is already taken care of in LA. So, for my mindset and what I'm trying to do, through a barbershop, is I believe it's when the opportunities present themselves and they work out smoothly. That's when they work out best.
So, culturally, what do you think the difference is, community-wise, between Los Angeles and Orange County? Like, when you lived in LA, did you ever experience racism or discrimination?
As far as we get it from everywhere. We get black on black discrimination, but as far as other ethnicities, being in LA, we grew up with Hispanics and blacks, and from where I grew up, it was the whites were the minority. So coming from Orange County is definitely reversed on that aspect, because out here we kind of can't 100% be ourselves as African Americans. We do have to carry ourselves a different way. Not saying that we shouldn't anyway, but the natural culture of which we have grown up and loud and fun, and just very energetic and happy. You can't do that in Orange County. It's totally unacceptable. I think just because I'm a little bit older, that I know that there's not just black on black crime. There's Mexican on Mexican crime. There's white on white crime. You know what I mean? There's kid on kid crime. It's just for some reason the black on black crime is just really glorified. You know what I mean? So again, I feel that your film is going to bring some awareness that these titles that's put on certain things, it doesn't just apply to the African American race. It applies to everything. But for some reason, ours is just thrown out in the limelight, just to be picked at and looked at in a negative aspect. And it's not what it is. It's just, those are social issues that go on in every race, in every community.
Orange County is relatively young. So you would have, as the theory went, you got white neighborhoods, you got black neighborhoods, you got Hispanic neighborhoods, and so that's one of the things. Economic factors is a huge thing, as we discussed earlier. So cost of living here in Orange County is pretty astronomical. I think we all know. I mean, we were just talking about real estate prices, and unless you are already well ingrained into Orange County and you're got a job that can afford, and you can afford, you know, to live here, it's tough to break in. It's very tough to break in if you're not already here. And so it's kind of, I guess, a cycle that repeats itself.
Crime is unpredictable and it doesn't really have any boundaries. I mean, when you hear about a woman being shot 5 times in the chest in Beverly Hills, I mean, you can't say where is crime gonna strike next. So to a certain extent, yeah, you have to consider crime, but crime is pretty much prevalent in just about every community because it's predominantly opportunistic.
Economic factors take into account a lot of things with, you know, the young kids selling drugs just to be able to afford, you know, certain things that they view as they need in life rather than just the stuff to actually get by on. Whereas if you go down to South County, you've got people that have a lot that some people have, you know, perceive that they need to pull from. You know, they've got it, I don't, I want it, I'm gonna go get it.
Prior to 9/11, I experienced a lot of racism, but people were a little bit more ignorant at that time. They weren't really aware of what somebody from the Middle East or somebody who was Muslim who didn't wear a scarf would look like. So a lot of people assumed that my family were Mexican. Growing up in Texas and in California, it was that way. So there was this one time we were in Laguna Hills at a car dealership, and we were the only people in the lot. Go up to the salesman, and my dad asked, "Oh, how much is this car?" My dad, you will never catch him dressed casual, never. He's always in a slacks and a button every single day. And the man looked at us, and he said, "It doesn't matter because you can't afford it." And my dad goes, "Okay, you can go attend to your other customers." And the lot was empty, and so we just left. Because my dad, he's just very reserved person, so he would never argue about it. But I remember walking away thinking, and I was probably like 11, just thinking I didn't understand. I didn't understand how that happened or how anybody could even just look at someone and just think they wouldn't have money. I didn't understand. So that was prior to 9/11. After 9/11, a lot of people became more aware of who was Muslim or, you know, stereotyped that. And there were a lot of things at that point. I remember I was in school, I think I was a junior in high school, and I remember walking down the hall, and one kid was saying to another, this was the day of September 11th, and one kid was saying to the other, "Yeah, all the Muslims in this school, we just have to get them." And we had a lot. I mean, there were a lot of Persians, Arabs. I think if they're including me, there were maybe 3 other Pakistani kids. But I just remember thinking, you're so ignorant, you know? We've been together in school for 10, 12 years now, never had a problem. Right. And now all of a sudden you're going to associate with me with something that really my religion has nothing to do with? It's just really silly. There were so many girls who used to wear scarves who decided to stop wearing them because they were scared. They didn't know how people were going to respond. I remember my dad told me and my brother that day, I think it was like Thursday, if I remember properly, and that weekend he told us, "No, you're not allowed to go out, just stay at home." And it was unfair that we were being punished for something that we had nothing to do with.
What I've experienced actually is, you know, coming here and, you know, when I visit, you know, people, I would say the black community is no different than anybody else here. And I think part of the thing about coming to Orange County and interacting with somebody that's black is no different than anybody else. Like, just because I meet you and you're black, that doesn't mean I necessarily want to spend time with you or hang out with you. You know, it's just like a case-by-case basis. If you build a relationship with somebody, you want to get to know them, whether that be, you know, another male that's just your friend or a female, then that's when you choose to do that. It's not a situation where, oh, we're the same ethnic background, so of course we're going to click or get right along. You know, not the case with me. I can't speak for everybody else, but
do you not feel a certain like connection since you know you guys are kind of like the same? You know how like Chinese people tend to stick together.
Right.
Is it kind of like the same with the black community in
You know,
Orange County, or is it different?
I think it's different, actually. I think that actually, as a whole, even outside of Orange County, I think that sometimes the African American community doesn't stick together a whole lot anyway. Unless it's their immediate family. So I think it's even more so in Orange County. Sometimes you might come across somebody of the same ethnic background and they're not.
Why do you think that is?
I think that they feel a certain way. Maybe that they've made it or something, and they're a little ignorant to the fact that if somebody new, they don't know your story. So they necessarily don't want maybe any kind of what's a good adjective? Maybe they don't want to feel a certain way about you if you're not like them. They feel intimidated.
I think it's a gun control issue. I think it's a law issue. Something obviously occurred that night that only 2 people are ever going to know what really happened, and it's a shame that someone had to lose their life. It's murder either way. Whether it's in the eyes of the law or not, someone had to lose their life over something stupid. And it's wrong. And Florida needs to look at their laws and rethink it. Because just because you feel in danger doesn't give you the right to take someone else's life. Especially if you go looking for it. Because anybody can go looking for trouble.
Yeah, if you go looking, you'll find it.
Right. And unfortunately, that kid was in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person, and he lost his life, and it's tragic, and it's messed up. But the way that the Florida law is written is that's the way it was, and so I think it's a bigger issue than just a black kid losing his life. I think it's so multi-level that I don't think there's any way to answer it.
And the other thing is, yeah, that kid shouldn't have lost his life, but nobody truly knows what happened that evening or that day. So, we know the facts, but actually all we do know is what they're telling us too. We don't know, anything else further than that. As a black guy, of course, initially, I felt a certain way, but then, I have to, just take a few steps back and look at the whole picture. What don't I know? I wasn't there, and you got to look at the whole picture. That law is really backwards. I mean, I know another situation about a black woman that just fired some warning shots in the air and supposedly got 20 years. Now that's what I don't understand. That's, it makes me scratch my head like 15 times wondering why? Why does that happen? So in that respect, that comes back to think about the Trayvon Martin situation, well, how can this guy get off? But I understand the law, and it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So if they couldn't prove, 100%, then that's why he'll get off. But there's a lot of other particulars too. I've heard that his dad was a judge, things like that. So there's a lot of other particulars, but just the facts are the facts. I mean, if you don't have enough evidence, then they shouldn't prosecute you. Now that doesn't mean that people don't get prosecuted where they don't have enough evidence, but that's another story for another day.
The particular situation that I'm thinking of, somebody was complaining about Mexicans, and because they don't know my background, I just let them talk and talk and talk, and then it ended up going into all minority groups where they just wanted to eliminate all of them. And I was just like, wait a minute, were you just upset because they didn't trim your hedges correctly? Kind of going off the deep end. Let's rein it back a little bit. And oh, by the way, my name's Natalia. It's nice to meet you, But I mean, that's what you get in South County.
How do you feel about the protests surrounding the Zimmerman verdict?
I think the protests that happened pretty much around the world was kind of like the reaction to just a lot of social unrest. I don't think it was just about the verdict or just about Trayvon's murder. I really think a lot of people just needed something to help them express the frustration that they're feeling in general about the economy, about not having a job, about not having enough money. And I think it just was the tipping point in allowing them to come out and express themselves publicly.
So did you see it as it relates to society's true feelings and emotions, whether it be one side or the other?
I do. I think of it almost like a child. You know, a child who is not taught words yet, only knows how to connect with its mother or father through yelling, screaming, or crying. And I think the public was trying to find those words, and we have been trying to find those words, but this was really that opportunity to really step out and show that expression of frustration publicly to get the media's attention, to get the world's attention.
And now we're going to go back to the Orange County questions. Do you plan to continue living in Orange County?
I don't. I think my time in Orange County is coming to an end. I really want to explore other places to live. I feel like I'm kind of sheltered here behind the orange curtain. I do believe that my experiences here have made me a better person. However, I know that I'm also contained in a way. So I do want to venture out, live in different areas to become a more well-rounded person.
Who would you recommend watch this film?
I would recommend any and everybody watch this film, whether you're white, black, Latino, Asian, whether you're a woman, man, everyone should watch this video, because I think the fundamental message in it is translatable to any community. We all need to share our stories. We all need to become more of a community. We can't be as individualistic as we have been. I think our world is coming to a point where we have to be more collective and get back to those basic human needs, which are, you know, coming together and food, making sure each other can eat, making sure you have some type of shelter so that you are warm. It can't just be about what I have and forget about what you don't have. We are now getting to a point where we have to care about each other and know that what affects one of us directly, you know, or indirectly affects the next person.
What was the motivation behind this film?
I was motivated by some of the stories I began to hear about the African American community in Orange County, some of the stories about discrimination, hate crimes, and I've had my own history of being a victim of hate crimes and discrimination, and I feel like I know my words. I feel like I have a voice and I can speak on behalf of those who are afraid to speak about their experiences. People who they just learn to just be quiet and put their head down and just go with the flow, but are really hurting inside. So, for example, there was a young man named Khalid Flimban, and he was found hanging in the hills. Well, his family has been trying to get his case reopened so that it can be investigated, but it's, at this point, as far as I know, it's not going to be investigated. So, as a community member, I feel that from a distance. I don't even know his family, but I feel that pain. And I mean, there was a family in Yorba Linda, and they were victims of hate crimes, and they ended up moving out of Yorba Linda to a different city where they feel more welcomed. And this is a black family, and it's just situations like that where I feel that someone needs to come out and create some type of platform to share these instances, these occurrences, so that everybody can start to understand what's happening on a local level and then eventually on a global level. You know, you may think that what's happening to that black family doesn't affect you, but ultimately it does. It affects our economy, it affects our healthcare system. There's just so many levels. It's not just superficial. You know, I don't know them, so it doesn't bother me. It does. It will affect you.
Do you agree with the idea that what affects one affects us all?
Yeah, definitely. I believe that there is a trickle-down effect. Personally, I connect with people at different levels, and so just knowing that, you know, physiologically I connect with people, I instinctively know that if you're hurting, I'm gonna hurt too. So if you can't eat, it does affect me. That's why I think everyone has to get back to a point where we try to connect with each other, become more empathetic, so that we can move forward as a community and as a nation. I think the way that we are doing things now, you have your rich, poor, and middle class is kind of minimizing. I think we're going to get to a point where we're going to need to help each other. There's not going to be any other way around it. So yes, what affects one does affect us all.